Chapter 3, Karma as Memory. There is only one crime against life: to make believe that you are something other than life. The Mammoth Memory Bank. It happened one day. Sankaran Pillai got very angry with his wife and left home. After wandering the streets for an entire night, he went to a restaurant for breakfast. When the server came to his table, he said, "Please serve me weak coffee, over-salted sambar and rock-hard idlis." The server was puzzled. "But sir, I can serve you some really hot and strong coffee, a delicious sambar and super soft idlis." Now Sankaran Pillai said, "You fool, do you think I am come here to enjoy breakfast?" Asked Sankaran Pillai, "I am just homesick." So it doesn't matter what it is. Once you have gotten used to something, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, you cannot drop it. If it is volition that determines karma, the inevitable question is, from where does your volition arise? As we have seen, it is from your identification with the notion of separateness. From where then does this identification arise? From memory. You believe you are an individual because your memory tells you that this is who you are. Perhaps it would be more accurate and more useful there. Therefore, to describe karma as memory, think about it. Everything you consider to yourself is a result of memory. What you call me is a product, in every sense of the term, of your past. Everything that has ever come into contact with you through these five senses, like whatever you saw, whatever you hear, smelled, tasted and touched, is there in your memory, influencing your personality. Every bit of memory that you gathered in wakefulness and in sleep is in this bank. Everything that has ever come into contact with you through these five senses, like whatever you saw, hear, smell, tasted and touched, is there in your memory, influencing your personality. Every bit of memory that you gathered in wakefulness and in sleep is in this bank, whether you are conscious of it or not. Every cell in your body remembers and acts out of the memory that every moment of your life. Life is telling you about your karma at every instant. The problem is that you listen only to your thoughts or to your neighbors. If you listen to the life process, no teaching, no scripture would ever be necessary. Karma is one big noise. If you cannot hear it, it is simply because right now you are accustomed to listening to the outer world. But once you learn to listen to your interiority, you hear the karmic din loud and clear. The decibel levels are so high, there is no missing it. Your body is a heap of food you have just ingested over a time. Your mind is a heap of impressions and ideas you have imbibed and processed over a time. Both are creation of the past. Both are products of memory. So, whether you identify with your body or your mind, what you call your personality is simply an accumulation of memory. The essence of everything you consider to be yourself is karmic. Right now, if you walk from your home a couple of blocks down the street, 100 different smells assail you. You may not be conscious of these. Only if a very strong smell comes, the way will you notice it. But all the 100 varieties of smells that your nostrils have come in touch with unconsciously have actually been recorded in your memory. Experiments have been conducted that substantiated this. Someone who knows no Chinese, for instance, is exposed to the language when they are in deep sleep. A years later, 100 under certain conditions of hypnosis then can actually utter the 10 sentences of this Chinese language that they hear while they were asleep. That is how memory works. The systems of body, the mind and energy are simply soaking in information every moment. You may not remember consciously what happened 25 years ago, but it is working on you. What happened 2500 years ago is still imprinted on your body. What happened 25 million years ago is still encrypted in your body. Everything that ever happened on this planet is remembered by your body, because your body is just a piece of this planet. The memory from the very beginning creation is right here. Your mind might have forgotten life as a unicellular being, but your body still remembers. People think memory means only mind, but that is not the case. The volume of memory that the body carries is a billion times more than the volume of memory the mind is capable of carrying. The rocks and trees are various objects around you are throwing our different vibrations right now. Every pebble, every stone is saying something. The problem is that most people are not sensitive enough to hear them or do not possess enough attention to decipher their language. Now, if all the levels of memory in you were wiped out this instant, you would have no personality at all. The difference in people's personalities are entirely due to memory, physical, mental and energetic. As the memory acts itself out, you become an automaton working according to the decades of your past karma. Your ability to use your discerning mind diminishing gradually and your ability to choose is impeded. As karmic bond is building up, you will naturally try to draw smaller and smaller circles around yourself. At the age of 18, most people draw large circles. By the age of 70, the age circles shrink and people find that they can get along with only few. By drawing karmic circles, you determine the boundaries of your personality. As you keep shrinking these boundaries, you are heading straight and depression. And yet, the human problem is that you are constantly labeling your boundaries as freedom. There is a simple way to check if you are increasing or decreasing the size of your karmic circle. When life situations place you in unfamiliar or unexpected terrain, what is your reaction? If you are asked to dress differently for an occasion, or if you find you have misplaced your keys, or if your footwear accidentally walks out with someone else, or if you check into a hotel and find you have to sleep on mattress on the floor, how would you react? These are small triggers. Think of larger ones and ask yourself what your reactions would be. If the very thought of these situations makes you anxious, you inhabit a very constricted karmic space. These unconscious reactions become the unexamined aspect of your personality. Over a time, these patterns grow more rigid and frozen. And so you say, oh, this is the kind of person I am, and this is my personality. Someone might offer you a better way to live, but you find yourself shrugging it off and saying, no, but this is the way I am. Hasn't it happened to you any number of a times? You made up your mind, I'm going to make this change in my life. For 3 days, you were transformed. On the 4th day, you were back in the same old route. And although you try to choose differently, your old patterns and ending up rolling. When you were 18, it looked like you could grow in so many different ways. But as you grow older, it slowly seemed like choices were shrinking. It felt like there was only one way for you to be. As the karmic substances increasing in volume, the discerning mind becomes almost useless, because you work largely by habits, patterns and cycles. The attraction to one's own karmic patterns can be powerful, because most people experience a sense of safety in the familiar. Whether the patterns or cycles are small or big is irrelevant. Their recurrence can offer a sense of security, identity, and even power for those who fear the unfamiliar. It happened in the year 2009. A lion in the forest ambled over to a pig and bragged, "Look at me, I'm the king of the jungle. If I roar, the entire jungle trembles in fear." The pig laughed and said, "That's not big deal. If I sneeze, the entire world will tremble in fear right now." The business of identity definitely wields more power than ever before. So, if you have to break the tyranny of karmic memory, you have to crack the karmic substances. Otherwise, since you have come over as a human being with this level of intelligence and awareness, it is tragic or forego the great human power of choice.